I want to quickly talk to you about TransUnion Credit Dispute Form. And when we talk about TransUnion Credit Dispute Form, we're talking about a very specific form that you have to go through if you are trying to dispute all kinds of the regulatory items or all kinds of items of your credit reports, your TransUnion credit reports. So here is the overview I want you to pay attention to. So today I'm going to do a walkthrough so you have a clear idea what I'm talking about. So here is how the form looks like. You're talking about a request for investigation, and basically a TransUnion is telling you all the things that you need to know, especially your options for requesting an investigation. You have the option to actually start an investigation online, or you can just do it via regular mail. So we are speaking about USPS regular mail. So you got to really choose. I mean, in any way, shape, or form, never do an investigation over the phone, because you need to have a written proof of all the ins and outs of the investigation. Okay, and it's really important to understand that when you look at the form itself, the form is pretty straightforward. So you have three steps. The first step, you need to enter your personal information. So we're talking about your first name, last name. Your if you have other names you want to you need to be as transparent as possible with TransUnion so they can actually do the investigation on your behalf. Okay, you got to put your address, the street, zip, and city and state and everything. You got to put your telephone number, and if you have a current employer and you want to share that information with TransUnion, not a problem. You want to put that. So your employer, you got to put your social security number, and you got to put your date of birth. Okay, and also if you want to share your driver's license number, you want to share that also. Now the file number, if you already have a file number with TransUnion, you can put it there. But if you don't have a file number, that's not a problem. The second screenshot, as you can see here, it says you want to enter investigation details. So you want to provide as much information to TransUnion so they can actually they can conduct the investigation. So you put the company name, the account number, and you have to actually choose which box really applies. This is not my account. I've never paid late, whatever. So you do this for as many accounts as you want TransUnion to investigate. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. The next step, if you remember, I told you that you have three steps. Actually, it's four. But the third step is you want to enter previous address, employer corrections, and additional comments. And this section is really optional, but we actually tell all our clients and all our viewers to actually fill this section. Why? Because again, going back to what I told you a little earlier, you want to be as transparent as possible. You want to provide a lot of information to TransUnion so they can do whatever they have to do, and that's kind of important. Okay, and for instance, when we talk about previous address, you want to go as far back as 10 years. I mean, you can go as far back as 5 years, but the longer the better. So we're talking about all your previous residences. Same thing for employers. So if there is anything you want TransUnion to correct in your file, so let's say you work at Nike, but they put another company, you want them to actually correct that as well. And if there are additional comments, you want to put it here. Now, the thing is that if you need more space, you can actually just print a blank page and just write your explanation on that blank page. But the thing is that you need to sign and date at the bottom of the page. So if you have any other template that's not the TransUnion generated form, you want to really sign and date it so that they know exactly what's really happening. Okay, but that's really important. So, but again, step number 3 is optional, but we recommend that you actually fill it out, and then don't forget to sign. So at the bottom of step number 3, you want to actually sign so that you are validating the form, you are validating the statements. Okay, and step number 4, you want to return the form to TransUnion Consumer Solutions. As you can see on the screen, they want you to mail it. Okay, so PO Box 2000, Chester, Pennsylvania 19022 2000. So that's important for you to always keep a written keep written proof of any conversation you have with TransUnion, so that if the matter has to go to court or has to go a little further, you have written proof. It's always important. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's conversation. I'm giving you a walkthrough through TransUnion credit report, the credit dispute form. I want to share with you the approach you need to really pay attention to when you are actually initiating a TransUnion credit dispute form. It's really important to understand that before you start, once you actually start your dispute, you can't save, stop, or come back later. So that's why you want to really make sure that you allocate enough time. I mean, 30 minutes should be about right. So you need to start and finish in the same session. So be sure to have everything you need ready when you start your dispute. Okay. And if for some reason you can't finish your dispute in one visit, please print a copy of your selection so it'll be a lot easier to start over when you return. So it's all about you allocating the proper time to this dispute, okay? And it's one of those things where you always have, if you have any question, you want to really talk to TransUnion first. Well, now, when we talk about TransUnion dispute form, there are some items you can dispute and others you cannot dispute. Now, what TransUnion information can you really dispute? You have personal information, you have account and public record dispute, you have inquiry dispute, you can also dispute other information. I want to break it down for you. Let's talk about personal information dispute options. So on this website, you can remove previous name, aka previous address, employer, and telephone number information. That's why I was telling you a little earlier to fill the optional form, step number 3, okay? You can also select a previous address to be listed as your current address. And again, everything can happen in step number 3. But currently, you cannot add new contact information or on your TransUnion report online. You also cannot make edits to existing personal information such as names, addresses, employment information, date of birth, or social security number online. If you want to modify existing personal information or add new personal information on your TransUnion report, please file your dispute request by phone or mail. But our preferred method is to do everything by mail. You never know. Okay, you want to keep a written piece of evidence should something happen. So these changes may require you to submit documents. So if you need to request a legal name change, including transgender and non-binary first and or middle name changes, please go to a TransUnion. They do have a transgender name change page for more information. If you want to change account and public record dispute, that if you want to initiate such a dispute, it's totally possible. So inaccurate or incomplete information associated with a credit account or public record may be disputed through the site. If you have documents from a lender, court, or other relevant source that relate to an account dispute, you can include those documents in your dispute request. Please make sure that you documents are JPEG, PDF, or TIFF format, and total size is under 5 megabytes. Also, you have adverse items of information on your credit report as a result of human trafficking. This is totally possible. Also, you can dispute it. So this is totally fine. Now, the thing is, when we talk about TransUnion credit dispute form, you need to really understand that dispute may not be the right option for you if you want to actually initiate a change. Everything depends upon your strategy. So it is your right to dispute information you believe to be inaccurate. However, these tips can help you determine if a dispute is needed. So recent payment may not appear immediately. So most lenders report data to the credit reporting agencies every 30 days. It's important for you to know that. And the thing is that if you recently made a payment or other change to your account, there may be a slight delay before your lender reports the latest information. So it can be 30 to 60 days, okay? Always check the last reported date on any TransUnion credit report you received. If the change you want to see on your file happened after your lender has last reported data, it's possible that the requested change will be included on your lender's next scheduled updates to the credit reporting agencies, okay? On the other hand, this is a biggie. On the other hand, basically, if the change happened before the lender's latest update and you are still seeing inaccuracies in the data that they actually reported, you can dispute the information either with the lender directly or through the credit reporting agencies, including TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax. Now, you have detailed payment history is not provided by some account providers. Again, it depends on the lender. The thing is that if your accounts show an empty payment status, no positive or negative payment info for payments in the past, it's possible that your lender simply chooses not to report detailed information to the credit reporting agencies, or the account is in collections and does not report payment history. If that's the case, you may want to contact the lender directly to share your feedback instead of filing a dispute to request information they chose not to provide. Because if that's the case, TransUnion just wants to make sure that you are actually sparing some resources, some of their resources, because this is not their fault really. And shared accounts should display on all account holders report, right? Typically, if you are a joint account holder, or let's say authorized user of the account listed, the account and related payment history should show up on your credit report. This includes details of any late or missed payments. If you believe you are not responsible for the account, you can file a dispute either with the lender directly or with TransUnion through the website. So you have possibilities. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about TransUnion credit dispute form. This is a walkthrough of the form. Now, it's important to really understand that in most cases, contacting your lenders may actually help you, because they are the provider of the data. They are the data furnisher, so they can really help you a lot faster. Because if you were to go through TransUnion to dispute, to initiate a dispute process, they only have to go to validate, in other words, confirm or deny the data with the lender anyway. So you may file a dispute without contacting your lender first. But keep in mind, TransUnion may contact the lender in the process of investigating your dispute. Okay, it's important to understand that there are some recent information you need to provide. So for account and public record disputes, TransUnion requires you to provide a reason for the change you wish to make. So you can typically select up to 2 reasons, but for certain disputes, only 1 reason can be selected. So you also have the option to add a comment with additional information that may be relevant to your dispute. For example, if you believe that the account or a public record belongs to someone with a similar name, you should actually select the dispute reason, "That's not my account, public record," and then add the name of the person that the information belongs to, or at least that you believe the information belongs to, because TransUnion will have to double check that anyway, okay? And it's important to always have supporting documents at the ready, because if you are disputing account information, it may be helpful to provide supporting documentation. And documents should always be from a relevant source, such as a court or a lender, and should include specific details that support the change you are requesting. Because again, the changes that you want TransUnion to initiate are pretty big changes, and they're not going to do anything unless you really show them that you are actually right. Okay, it's important to keep that in mind. And one thing I want to say also is that for example, documents from your lender, such as a statement that show an account has been paid off and closed, or copies of court document, may be helpful in resolving your dispute. If you want to include the supporting documents with your dispute, first select the account you want to update, then check the box indicating you want to upload the documents. So when you click to the next step, you'll see options to add your documents. So TransUnion, it's really there to kind of help you in the process. It's really important to understand that when you initiate a TransUnion credit dispute form, or at least when you fill out one, a few things happen. In a dispute. Once you submit a dispute, TransUnion will review it carefully and take one or more of the following actions. We'll put this on the screen. So update your credit report based on the information you provided, or determine that the information you disputed has already been updated, or determine that you already disputed the item and the lender already verified the information is correct. Okay, or, and that's option number 4, ask the lender reporting the information to either review relevant information they send them, TransUnion send them, and determine whether the information listed on your credit report is accurate. Because the whole thing here is that it's all about validating data, right? So you can ask the lender reporting the information to provide TransUnion with a response to your dispute, and or ask the lender reporting the information to update their records and systems if needed. That's what I was just telling you a little earlier, that when we talk about the lender, we are speaking about the data furnisher. So the data furnisher, that's actually the source of the data. So TransUnion relies for all intents and purposes on the lender, and they want to make sure that the lender is actually, their data, TransUnion's data, is in sync with what the lender or the lender has in their records. Okay, so investigations are usually completed within 30 days of the date TransUnion receives your request. So 30 days, remember that number. And so when your dispute investigation is complete, you will either receive an email notifying you that your results are available online on TransUnion.com, or in some cases TransUnion will send printed results by mail. This was possible even if you submitted your dispute via phone or mail and requested your results to be available online. In the meantime, you can also view or update the email address associated with your user account on TransUnion.com. So you have the possibility there, and you should really avail yourself of that possibility. And what I want to say here is that, it's one of those things where you got to think about 30 days. That's the status. I mean, that's the time frame you should really be active. Since there is a methodical way to make it happen. If personal information on or an account were previously removed from your TransUnion credit report, but you later determined that information should show up on your credit report again, you want to really do two things. So for personal information, to re-add a phone number or employer, you need to contact TransUnion to add personal information. You got to contact them. To re-add other personal information such as a name or address, mail current documents that show the information you want to add. Okay, so now when we talk about adding information like social security number, birth date, name, and address, there is a certain method to follow. Now, for account, to re-add an account, ask the lender or company that manages the account to contact TransUnion to see if the account is eligible to be reported or reinserted in your credit report. So to manage a consumer statement on your credit report, you just use TransUnion's online dispute process. Okay, now this doesn't happen offline. Everything happens online. It's faster and it's more convenient. It's more efficient too because they have all the data. And you can also dispute. By the way, when you dispute information on your TransUnion credit report, it's always a great idea to think about disputing Equifax or Experian data as well. Because the thing is that even though the data, the report are sometimes different, you never know. If you see a sign of a fraud on one credit report, maybe you have the same thing on the other credit report. So we're gonna show this on the screen so you have a clear idea. You have I'm showing you the information for Equifax, so you can dispute online with Equifax or send your dispute by mail. So Equifax PO Box 740241, Atlanta, Georgia 303740241. So that's for Equifax. For Experian, you can dispute online with Experian or send your dispute by mail. PO Box 4500, Allen, Texas, and 75013. So the possibilities are there in terms of what kind of options you have. You want to file online or you want to file via regular mail. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I give you a TransUnion credit dispute form walkthrough. I give you the overview, the approach, and now the recap. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.